Welcome back to Wellness to Greatness. In part one of my conversation with Peter, we explored survival mode, chronic stress, and the subconscious patterns that can quietly shape our lives. And today, in part two, we're taking the conversation a step deeper. Peter is a certified hypnotherapist, life coach, father, former volunteer firefighter and EMT, and creator of Blue Sky Hypnosis. In this episode, he helps us better understand what hypnosis really is, and it actually walks us through a session for us to experience. Now, how the subconscious mind influences our thoughts and behaviors, and why lasting transformation often begins by addressing the root cause rather than simply managing the symptoms. If you've ever been curious about hypnosis or wondered why some patterns seem so difficult to change, this conversation may offer a new perspective. So let's dive in.
I've actually have experienced hypnosis and past life regression in the past. What some people who are listening have never experienced that. Like, what does that look like? And do you have to step in with a certain mindset in order for it to work?
So I'll describe what hypnosis is and then describe for your listeners situations that they've been in so they can recognize from their own lives what hypnosis is.
Yeah.
So my definition of it is it's a focused state of concentration where selective thinking is employed. All that means is that you're driving home from work and you're so focused on something that happened at work. You're so focused on a struggle with a relationship. You're so focused on a movie that you saw a couple days ago or something that happened in your life 15 years ago that you pull into your driveway and you don't recall driving the last 10, 15, 20 minutes. Or you're playing a sport or you're working in your garden or something and you wash your hands for dinner and you notice you've got a cut on the back of your hands. You can't remember getting the cut. Or you're watching a movie and the movie ends and you're like, that was 2 hours? Feels more like 30 minutes or 20 minutes or something. These are all examples of hypnosis where you entered a focused state of concentration, like having a large aperture of awareness, and now it goes down to something the diameter of a straw. And so time is outside that tight focus that you're in. Time ceases to exist. Pain ceases to exist. That's why you didn't feel yourself getting the cut. Or you take a shower and you see a giant bruise the size of a grapefruit on your leg. You're like, where did I get that? I guess I got it working in the yard a couple days ago or playing volleyball or something. So even pain can not be recognized when you're in a hypnotic state. The act of driving, your autonomic, your subconscious mind takes that over because your subconscious mind ties your shoes. It helps you walk across the room. It does it for you. You're not thinking, how do I walk across the room? So that's what hypnosis is. And people easily get caught up in what they've been shown their whole lives through entertainment, that it's one person's control over another, where the subject enters a catatonic, sleep-like state where they do whatever they're told and they don't remember anything. So that's what they're thinking in their mind hypnosis is, rather than those examples that I just gave you. And in those examples I gave you, there's no hypnotist present, but so it's such a natural state for us. When we're in love, we go into hypnosis. And we feel like we're walking on air. There's no time. I don't need to eat. Well, the sun's going down. It's been how long? We've been here 4 hours.
So the difference is that there's a guide there that can walk you through this more specific focus.
Yes. And then the art of hypnosis isn't inducing the state. It's what do you do when the person's in that state to help them let go of something, to heal something, to reach their goals, whatever those goals are. So I think that's really, I share this with all of my clients because I want them to understand what it is. And not think they're supposed to be in a catatonic sleep-like state where they do whatever they're told and they don't remember anything.
So why is it that they make it perceive that way? that you don't remember the outcome? Like, I know maybe it's television, Hollywood, I don't know, but
Yeah.
why did they make it seem that way?
Would anybody watch the show if it wasn't super dramatic?
It's
I
true.
mean, if I were a stage hypnotist and working in Las Vegas or something, I would do the same thing.
Mm.
And there is a range of experiences. And a stage hypnotist is giving the audience tests. They're looking for the people that are the most responsive and can demonstrate some of these incredible phenomena. And all they need is 1 to 3 people where they can suggest, when I snap my fingers, you won't remember your name. I did that to my eldest son when he was a kid.
Did it
And
work?
then when I snap my fingers again, his name comes back. So it's possible with people who are highly, highly responsive, but that's a very small percentage of the population. And that's why at a big stage show, that's why they're giving multiple tests. They're looking for 1 to 3 people who can respond that way. But the average person is not going to have experiences like that. It's going to be more of like what I explained to you.
Yes.
And at the same time, I will say, which is kind of remarkable when you think about it, and this just happened yesterday with a client, I'll ask them at the end of the session, the first session, how does your body feel? Oh, I feel really relaxed. When's the last time you felt that way? Recently or a long time ago? And they get this far away look and they just say, I can't remember. I can't remember the last time I felt that relaxed.
Yeah.
And then I think, what are the implications on your physical health, on your mental health, on your addictions, on your family, on your work, of being in that state of intensity all the time? What would it be on your car if you ran it 24/7? And you never changed the oil and you never changed the air filter and you never rotated the tires. What would happen to your car?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so for people, when they have that feeling, I believe it's kind of like this ancient memory. Oh, that's what it feels like. I remember this. Maybe they were a kid the last time they felt that way.
Yeah.
And how healthy would we all be if you were able to feel that way for an hour every day?
Yes.
And
Another
it
thing.
wasn't just
Go
when
ahead.
you were on vacation. It wasn't just when you were on vacation.
Yeah. Another thing too, I notice with working with massage clients is that they're like, I can't remember the last time I was this relaxed, or I can't remember the last time not being in pain. This is the first time, or I slept so good for the first time in years. And I even find this happening often myself, is that where when I am in pain, I'm like, man, why did I not appreciate the moments when I felt so good? Do you know what I mean? So then once, like, I had this really bad pneumonia once, and it took a while to shake off. But oh man, did I wish to be able to breathe normally again? And then when I was able to breathe properly, I was like, oh, I am so grateful. But that feeling wore off over time. I don't remember what it was like, a distant memory, but I don't think every day, thank God I can breathe, you know? So sometimes we forget the pain. And I don't know if men are the same as women, but I think we're built that way. We were going to have babies. We got to forget the pain of childbirth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Why
Yes.
else
Yeah.
why else would we sign up for another one?
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true. One of the techniques that I often use with clients to bring them into hypnosis, we can do it right now if you want. You interested?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
in.
All
Tell me
right.
what I need to do.
Just close your eyes.
All right, I'm gonna get comfortable here. All right.
And let's think about the language. There's nothing you need to do because this state is totally natural to you.
Yes.
In fact, it's the opposite of need to do. That's that other paradigm we were talking about. Need to do.
Yeah.
This is just let go. So just close your eyes.
I gotta
Take a deep
shake it
breath.
off. I
Yeah,
gotta
sure.
Taylor Swift it. Shake it off. All
Sure.
right. I'm in.
Just take a nice deep breath. and let it go. And now just breathe normally. And I'd like you to scan your body from the inside, from head to toe, from shoulders to fingertips. And just find a part of your body that already feels completely relaxed, that feels perfect, like it's functioning perfectly. You would ignore it otherwise. It feels so good. Just find that part of your body. And when you have it, just nod your chin ever so slightly so I know you're focused on a part of your body that feels so good. Good. Put all of your attention on this part of you. Imagine that you can take your consciousness into this part of your body that feels so good. Almost like getting into a pool of water, where the water represents this feeling of well-being, of comfort, of relaxation. Where you can just float on your back. And as you float, and as I speak, let any sounds you hear, let any thoughts you think be interpreted as soothing thoughts and soothing sounds, allowing you to rest deeper. Because in this moment, right now, you are safe. And as your subconscious mind understands more and more that you are safe right now, it's easier to relax deeper. And the deeper you go, naturally, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go with each easy breath you breathe and with each easy beat of your heart. And each time you relax deeper, like now, it becomes easier for you in subsequent times to come right back to the same place of peace and deep relaxation. And to go even deeper, perhaps, as I speak. Deeper, relaxed. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. There are so many things you were saying before to be grateful for. Your husband, your children, your business, all the amazing changes you have experienced over the last 2 years. And all the changes, even more beautiful, life-affirming, and healthy, that are coming your way. Because you are capable, and you are worthy. And with each beautiful, positive, healthy change, your children benefit directly. They are the beneficiaries of these beautiful, positive, empowering changes. So just rest a little deeper now, because it feels so good. And let that creative part of your mind, the part of your mind that solves problems effortlessly. That creative part of your mind that can see clearly the path forward for your greatest dreams and hopes and desires. Let that part of your mind show you something. An insight, an inspiration, an epiphany. In that way that sometimes your mind connects things for you, where it shows you the map or the blueprint for something important in your life. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And with each number I count, begin drifting and floating back to the present time and place, so that when I count the number 5, your eyelids flutter open like the wings of a beautiful butterfly, and you feel refreshed, like you've had a beautiful, restful 30-minute nap, perhaps feeling light, free, and optimistic. 1 and 2, slowly and calmly, easily and gently returning back to the present time and place. 3, a surge of youthful energy flowing through your body from head to toe, from shoulders to fingertips. 4, lighter, freer, more optimistic. Eyes clear as though bathed in cool spring water. And on the next number I count, coming all the way back, feeling that bubbling sense of optimism all through your body. And 5, all the way back.
That was so good. I might re-listen to that every night before bed.
Why not?
That was so good.
How does your body feel?
Really good. It was interesting though, when you said find a place where you feel most comfort and bring your attention there. It was a place that normally doesn't feel comfortable. So I was like, oh, it feels really good there today. And then now the places that were uncomfortable have relaxed. Like I don't feel that discomfort.
Yeah.
So I every once in a while I feel myself twitch, like involuntary. Yeah. What does that mean? What's happening there?
I think what that is we're holding tension that we're not aware of throughout our day. You were saying it yourself earlier in the conversation that it becomes normalized because we're just holding it for so long. That becomes our new normal. And when a person goes to a place of deeper relaxation than they are normally in, I think that those are like little muscles letting go that are normally in this grip.
Yes. Yes. You know what I appreciate, Peter, is like you explaining this in more of a science-backed way. And although I am also a believer in some of the woo, and I think there is an energetic piece here that some people would say, well, I don't want to hear about it because maybe it's too spiritual or whatever. But, energetically, we are also made of light, when you break it down to the further cellular molecule. And sometimes I think too, because my clients will do the same thing where they're in this state and their body twitches. And sometimes I wonder if it's just energy that's blocked, that's trying to shake out. Would you agree with that?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I picture it as like a knotted up muscle or something that lets go. And the twitch is that it's happening rapidly. And I also believe what Chinese medicine talks about. They talk about qi. And Indian medicine talks about prana. And we're supposed to have this energy flowing through us freely. Now, you could call that blood and other nutrients and waste going through our vascular system. It's supposed to be flowing freely. When it's not, you have serious problems. But there's also other kinds of energy. You know, we're electrical beings.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And these things can get blocked or constricted. And when these channels open up through deep relaxation, you are going to feel stuff like that. I know that I feel twitching when I get acupuncture done.
Yeah. Well, what mind boggles me too is that when you look at these practices in China with the qi, and then the qi lines with the meridians of all the energy pathways in our body, but then you look at the Japanese and they have Reiki, which is the energy patterns of the chakras in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And then India, like you said, the pranayama. They talk Ayurvedic medicine, the energies in the
Mm-hmm.
body, the vata, kapha, pitta,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, and you know, all those. And then you go to Thailand and they practice Thai massage, which works the chi lines as well, but they don't
Mm-hmm.
call it chi. Anyways, you see what I mean is that these practices are thousands-year olds, and they at the time didn't have travel like we do now. So there's something there.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
something there energetically that I noticed we're starting to be able to explain it more in words, like hormones and you know the autonomic nervous system. But it's something they're worth listening to and being more curious about.
Oh, yeah. And athletes talk about a flow state.
Mm.
That's when they perform at their peak. Flow. Something's flowing.
Yeah.
What's flowing?
Yeah. What is it?
Probably the language is usually revelatory of something else that's going on. I listen very carefully to my clients because the language that they use unconsciously is usually it reveals a lot more how a person will phrase something.
Yes.
So a flow state implies something is flowing. The chi is flowing, the prana is flowing, the energy is flowing. You're not blocking it off through fear or trying to control the outcome.
Mm.
Your thoughts are flowing. Your breath is flowing. Your blood is flowing.
Well, what I have to say is I feel very relaxed right now.
Good.
And it's not that I wasn't relaxed to begin with. You know, I've been
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of interviews for a while now, and I'm really confident. But I feel like you said, I had like a half an hour nap, and I'm ready to seize the day.
Wonderful.
Thank
It's
you.
beautiful. You're
And
welcome.
you know what, Peter? I need to have you back on the show. Can we do that?
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, we'll find another time, maybe in the next quarter. But this has been so much value for the listeners and for me. And is there anything that maybe I haven't asked you that you would like to add?
Yes. It's about the past, what we call the past. So much of a person's stress is actually coming from the past.
Mm.
It's just being triggered by what's happening in the present moment. And people will say, you have to let go of the past. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to move forward. And I know that that's really well-meaning. But the problem is, you and I and everyone listening, we are the past. Or probably better stated, we are how we interpret the past, because that's how we engage with the present and the future. And in order to change that, I believe that we have to change our relationship to the past, specifically our own trauma, our own pain, so that we're not carrying that forward. Because it's going to come out. It's going to come out as stress, anger, anxiety, fear, worry, all of these things. It's like a burden that we're dragging through life. And all of that can be healed. All those things can be healed in your subconscious mind, so you're not carrying it anymore. So that when you get triggered, the gun doesn't fire because it's been unloaded. It's been put on safe.
Mm. And when you're saying past, you're not talking about just 20, 30 years ago, the day we were born. You're talking about long before that as well, correct?
Yeah. Well, from a scientific standpoint, from quantum physics, everything is now. Everything.
Right.
There is no time. Time is an illusion created by a planet rotating on its own axis, giving us night and day, and orbiting the sun, giving us the seasons. You could imagine easily, just outside that system, there's no time. When you sleep, there's no time. You enter the quantum reality in your consciousness when you sleep. When you're in love, as we said before, there's no time. You enter the quantum reality. When you're in a flow state, quantum reality. When you're driving home, that example, and you're thinking about something else, there's no time. So it's the same with the things that have happened to you in what we call the past. They are still alive within you. It doesn't matter how much time has passed. And how much trauma, how much pain, how much suffering can you drag along with you before it starts to degrade your life in what we call the present?
Yes. And what I found very interesting when I did a past life regression, which you also do, every lifetime that I had entered, I embodied that person, like, because I was them. And that feeling I was having about that character and the message they had to give me, what happened to them, I also felt that rippled out into this lifetime. Like I was a male who ran a business, and he was an entrepreneur. He was writing his own books, but never published it and never took certain risks. And his message to me: don't put that book in the drawer, go do it. Which I've been wanting to write a book since I was 6 years old, or as far as I can remember. And the other one, I had a female nurse who was in a time like around the Pearl Harbor days. And there was no psychological safety. She wanted to help people, but no one listened to her. She had she had an abusive husband that was rarely home when he was, it wasn't healthy. She committed suicide. She had so much anxiety. And what was interesting is that when I booked this appointment, I had a migraine, which I rarely do. I went to go see the guy. He had the exact same migraine. He asked me, I didn't say anything. And the incident was this woman, how she threw herself over a railing of stairs or whatever it was, and she hit her head. And so I thought that was, wow, like, how was that all connected? And then I had a couple other ones, and it was just fascinating because then not only did you learn where it came from, you understood why it happened, and then they had a message for you on how to move through your life to not feel that again. And that was so powerful. So if ever any of you are open-minded to try this, see what it's like, and try to get answers from this immediate lifetime. Well, like you said, that it's a quantum physics, there is no time, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Or in the past, this could be something worth exploring.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yes. Is there anything else? And one last question, then I have to run. Is there anything that people are not talking about right now that that we should be talking about when it comes to anxiety, overwhelm, and these patterns that we live in?
I think so. What's the best way to say this? Rulers, have always employed divide and conquer to maintain and to increase power. And in my lifetime, I have never seen our country so divided. And the division is often, they use fear to divide people. And I think division is always an unhealthy state. When we go through a trauma, our mind fractures. And there becomes this other part of us that's wounded, like an inner child almost, or a past life self or something like that. And healing always unites. And so with the stress and the anxiety, I think it's important to recognize that a lot of what is being broadcast to us is propaganda. It's not real, or it's real, but it's been spun in a way to make people afraid.
Manipulated.
Divided from their their friends, their family, their neighbors, sometimes husband and wife. And I think it's important to recognize that this is just how it is now. This is what's being thrown at us. And to try to have a media diet, to try to recognize that love is more powerful than who somebody votes for, what their opinion is on a particular issue, that there is a deeper connection between the two of you, and that we always have the ability to go to a higher level. And I do think that this directly impacts people's stress and anxiety. And one of the things I've said is, I'm not telling people to be ignorant of the news, but maybe you read it instead of watching it or listening to it. Because there's so much that you can do just through intonation. We have very important news. Something just happened today. You're going to want to pay attention to this.
As you said that, I went,
right? That's all I didn't even say anything.
I know. Well, this is it, because our body doesn't recognize the signal if we're actually truly in danger. So watching an action movie right?
Yes.
And you're breathing. Notice your breathing. That's what I tell my clients. Notice your breath when you're watching something like the news or a movie. Are you like your heart beating? Like for me, I had a clear indication when I was pregnant with my son and I watched a horror flick. I was so terrified. My heart was beating so much. My son was kicking like rapidly, like punching and moving around. And I'm like, okay, that's a clear indication that he thinks I'm in panic mode. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. It's just, I choose, and some people say I wear rose-colored glasses or I live in a cave. I choose not to watch the news. That is not for me. If I am interested in a specific article, I will go and look for it and read it, like you said. But I am also very sensitive to photos as well. So I'm very aware of where I am in my stress before I decide to read that information. So,
well, yeah, even the marketers of films for years, decades have been saying it's a seat of your pants roller coaster thrill ride. They know that they're activating your autonomic nervous system when you go sit down in the seat and look at the movie. They know it. And that's one of the reasons that we like to see these things, because our heart starts beating rapidly and we grip the armrests and we start crying. And it's not like there's anything inherently wrong with it per se. It's just important for people to recognize that, just like, you should probably be careful about what you eat and what you drink. You should also be careful about what comes through your eyes and your ears in terms of a media diet. You should be careful with what you put on your skin and your hair. If you wouldn't eat it, you probably shouldn't put it on your skin.
yes.
Like, all of these things are interacting with your body, your mind, and perhaps in your emotions, and perhaps even your spirit. And so it's important for us to be discriminating about what we let in and how much of it we let in and when we let it in.
Yes. I love this so much. So much. Thank you so much for bringing that up, because that is something that doesn't get talked about, because it's encouraged. It's part of like this cultural thing of always being on your phone, always doom scrolling, binge watching TV, or whatever it is, consuming too much of one thing or the other. So it's beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Peter. I really appreciate you. And I loved today's conversation.
Me too.
Thank you.
As Peter shared today, lasting change isn't always about trying harder. Sometimes it's about understanding what's happening beneath the surface. When we begin to explore the subconscious patterns, beliefs, and experiences that have shaped us, we create the opportunity for deeper healing and transformation. Peter, thank you for sharing your wisdom, your personal journey, and your passion for helping others heal at the root cause. And if you also want to learn how to shift out of survival mode into a place where more calm, emotional resilience, and clarity, check the show notes to learn more about Rise Above Burnout, a membership for women to join together and learn what is keeping us stuck in these patterns of behavior and how to shift and find ourselves again. So thank you for joining us for this part 2 conversation. If something from today's episode resonated with you, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on what your mind and body may be trying to communicate. Until next time, remember, the path from outer chaos to inner calm begins with awareness, compassion, and the courage to look within. I'll catch you next week.